The concept of the employee life cycle is actually an HR model. This particular HR model goes ahead to look at the various stages an employee goes through within an organization, from the point of hiring the employee to the point of exit of that particular employee. As employees go through the various life cycle of hiring to the point of exit, organization needs to keep track of this because there are various HR activities along that line, and the adoption of technology can help the organization a great deal. The stages of the employee life cycle. We said the employee life cycle has to do with the various stages the employee go through from the point of hiring to exit. This encompasses various stages in the career of an employee within an organization, from the point of joining the organization to the time of exit from that organization. These various stages can also serve as part of HR, starting with recruitment. Recruitment is the point of attracting the employee applying for the job, the open job position, the point of interviewing, shortlisting, till the point of recruiting and giving an offer to that employee. Then the next stage that the employee goes into is the onboarding stage. That is the stage at which the employee is taken through the preliminary activities of what it takes to be an employee. That stage also can be before resumption and also the early days of resumption. Before resumption, the employee might be required to complete some required forms and related documentation. Then at the point of resumption, then the process of induction, of taking the employee through what it entails for success within the organization, also come to play. After the employee have become a full-fledged member of the organization, employee needs to go through a process of development. This development can be in form of performance management. In terms of managing the performance of the employee, there are requirements for competencies, there are requirements for each of the jobs. Now, managing that process is also part of development of that employee. Training and development is also part of that. Learning and development is also part of the development of the employee, because if there are performance gap or competency gap, then that needs to be plugged with training, that needs to be plugged with development of that employee in themselves. The point of retaining the employee within the organization. Retaining the employee means you are motivating the employee. You are doing things to keep the employees engaged. Things around the work-life balance comes in here. Things around reward management comes in, because for ability to retain the employee means you're keeping them engaged, you're keeping them satisfied. And when you look at the various areas of total rewards, which means everything that employee perceives as value coming from that relationship will be part of retaining the employee within the organization. Career development opportunities all goes into retaining the employee within the organization. The final stage is offboarding. Offboarding has to do with the exit of the employee. Now, if an employee chooses to exit the organization, either voluntary or involuntarily, in terms of involuntary means maybe there's a redundancy, or the employee is asked to go, or the employee commits an offense and there's a need for the employee to leave. That's involuntary. Voluntary means the employee can choose to resign, move into another job. The employee can choose to retire as well. All of that, there are processes that are involved at the onboarding stage of the employee life cycle. Onboarding in terms of the exit interview, preparation of the exit benefit that the employee is entitled to. All of that goes into the offboarding stage. And you'll agree with me that each of the stages go round in cycle, because once an employee exits, the process now starts again. You may need to recruit the employee. So it's almost like a cycle in themselves. That's why it is called the employee life cycle. Understanding the employee life cycle and the stages of the employee life cycle now brings something to the fore. What part will technology play in organizations managing this entire process? Going across this entire employee life cycle, there are technological implications that organization needs to pay attention to, meaning there are technology that can help organizations to manage each of these stages. So let's look at each of the 5 stages: recruitment, recruiting the employee, onboarding, development of the employee, retaining, and the offboarding stage of the process. And it's a cycle. At the point of recruitment, this is where your talent acquisition software come to play, and also pre-employment screening, and also your applicant tracking system, ATS. So adoption of a technology in that stage can help the recruitment process. Then at the point of onboarding, we need to do identity and access management system. For some HR software, there are processes there are things the employee needs to complete before resumption. So the HR software can also solve that in terms of the intranet access. Even before resumption, you can have access to some reading materials. In terms of the onboarding, in terms of job orientation, training modules, online benefit enrollment, all of that can be handled at the onboarding stage. Then at the point of development, performance management software comes to play in this stage. Then the learning management software and e-learning also comes at the point of development. Then at the point of retaining the employee, managing the entire career and talent management of that employee, that is where talent management software comes to play to help organizations. Succession planning also gets into the point of retaining, then return to work or stay at home programs and services. So leave management and the related stuff, there are softwares that can handle all of that. Then moving to the 5th stage, which is the offboarding stage. How do you manage your exit interview and feedback, initiation of retirement plans and benefit, and final pay? The HR software can also help you to manage each of these processes. The adoption of a technology solution or an HR software can help you manage the employee life cycle better.